What's going on, guys? It's your boy No Credit. I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this and lives. That being said, let's get into it. Um, Over the years, we've heard promoter Eddie Hearn talk down on a guy like Bud Crawford. He wasn't promoted right. Bob Arum didn't promote him right. And all this other stuff Eddie Hearn said over the years of watching boxing, right? Crawford's never had a problem with Eddie. Eddie always took it upon himself to go out and do interviews talking bad about Bud, right? I don't know what it is. Every time Eddie mentions Bud, he says something negative, which makes absolutely no sense. Boxing nerd, come on the show and explain yourself. Prove to the world why Ennis isn't a duck. Come on the show and educate us on why your boy, because you need to answer these questions. You need to. He said, stop dropping these dumbass narratives. You need to answer these questions why your boy Ennis isn't a duck. I really wanted to talk about what I came on here to talk about, but since you want to explain to the public why your boy Ennis is not a duck, you can come on here and you do that. The fans want to hear what you have to say, buddy. So you can come on and do that. So explain to the public again why your boy Ennis isn't a duck, because we missed you the first time.
One second. You
You said 1 second. I was about to go in on your boy Eddie Hearn in a second.
Eddie Hearn's not my boy. He just signed the best boxer in the world right now.
Yeah, right. All right, listen. Let me say this. So you telling me, right? Are you
Yeah,
still on here?
yeah.
So you telling me when Terence Crawford retires, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he never fights Ennis and he retires. You're
Mm-hmm.
telling me Ennis has the ability to be pound for pound number one over the likes of Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis. Are you telling me that?
Most definitely.
I don't believe that. I don't believe he I don't believe he takes the number
Do you
one spot.
really think who's Tank gonna fight? Tank's not gonna fight nobody, so he's not gonna be number one. Number two, Devin Haney don't want that smoke.
Devin
If
Haney don't
Devin
want
Haney
what's
if Devin Haney fights Boots, he's never gonna get pound for pound number one. Shakur looked like
Devin has the
dog.
style to beat Boots though.
No, he
If you
does
didn't
not.
know that.
No, he does not.
Yes, he
No, he
do,
does.
bro. Yes, he
No, he does
do. He
not.
can outbox Boots.
No, he can't. No, he
Bro,
cannot.
Boots has a lot of defensive flaws, bro.
Your face has a lot of defensive flaws.
Yo, what the hell you talking? We talking boxing. You worry about my face. Chill, bro.
Yo, no, yeah,
Lotto
that
the
was
Great,
cold.
salute. What's up with
Yeah.
this guy? Yo, listen. I was studying Boots' fight the other day, right? I was watching his fight tapes or whatever. Especially the one his recent John versus Villa, right?
Yeah.
Bro, when he's cutting the ring off, bro,
Mm-hmm.
it looks bad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, it
Uh,
doesn't.
he's
No, it doesn't.
off balance because when he stepped because when what I learned in the
I
gym,
didn't know I was talking to Teddy Atlas.
huh?
I didn't know I was talking to Teddy Atlas. What do you know about boxing?
Just listen for a second,
Mm.
and you can add your thoughts to it. But when he was cutting off the ring against Villa or trying to cut him off, right? When he was walking him down trying to cut off the ring, he was stepping with his front foot. He was bringing his back foot close to his lead foot, and he was off balance every time, bro. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the camera down, show you what I'm talking about. All right, we're gonna get some boxing lessons today, cause your boy Boots needs it. If he does that against Crawford, he's going to sleep. But tell us how Boots isn't a duck, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by him crossing his feet when he's trying to cut off the ring. Nerd, where did you go? This guy disappeared. You don't want me talking.
I'll never disappear, bro. I'm always gonna
You don't
stay
want me
here.
cooking his boy boots.
And bro, you never cook him. Like you're scared of him. You live in his city, and you don't ever want to see him face to face and tell.
Yo, you know I spar a couple people he sparred.
And what's your point?
I just never spar him.
I'm in the doghouse with my woman.
You said what?
I'm in the doghouse with my woman.
You in a doghouse?
Yeah.
What that mean?
You never heard that term before? How many relationships have you been in?
A lot.
You never heard of, oh, you're in the doghouse? Like,
Nah, not really.
so essentially when a dog gets put in the doghouse, well, why do you think that is?
Hold on, you put a dog in the doghouse for what? What are you talking about?
So let's say you're in the house and the dog's causing trouble. The doghouse is outside. You put them
Right.
in the doghouse because they're misbehaving, they're causing trouble.
Right.
And women say that all men are dogs, you know what I mean? So like that's why they equate us to like putting us in the doghouse when we're like on timeout or like, you know.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that for real?
No, not really.
Oh well. Yeah.
There's some new shit. It
New
sounds like
shit?
some old school type shit you telling me.
Yeah, I'm an old school man, you know what I mean? So like,
Yo, you shout out.
no, but like here's the thing, yo.
How is your boy not a duck?
He's not a duck, bro. There's many different reasons why he's not a duck.
Okay. Can you give us those reasons so we can educate us? Because a lot of people on my channel and including myself, we think the opposite. So we
Yeah,
want to
because
hear
all of
it from
y'all are
your side.
Bud enthusiasts. And you know what's crazy?
What's
Crazy
crazy?
is Bud is my second favorite fighter in boxing. Second.
Right.
He's number 2. And you know this. Like I
never said he wasn't, bro. Bro, you know I be on here. I know you a fan of Bud, but I'm saying sometimes our favorite fighters gotta crash. They gotta clash.
Yeah, I know.
So we gotta,
Are we betting on
it's
that
pick
Boots
a
Bud fight?
side season sometimes.
Yeah, let's pick a side season. Are we betting on that Boots Bud fight?
Hell yeah. I got all my money on Bud. You already know that.
No, are you betting me?
Yes.
How much
That's
you betting?
one, bro. That's one fight I've been waiting to bet you on for a fact because we clash on this fight so much.
We won't clash that much, but how much are we betting?
It's up to you. You name the number, bro. It's up to you.
Oh.
Shit, we can do your little 5 you did with. How much did you do with the white? 5?
You want to do 500? You mad?
How much you want to do?
How much you want to do?
Bro, it don't matter. That fight, I know I'm getting paid.
So what happens? Let's just say we all know Boots has a more likely chance of beating Bud than Spence did, right?
I mean, I won't say that because he isn't proven, but I will say I will say this. Listen. I don't want to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a better style to compete. I don't know. I won't say he has a better chance to beat, a better style to compete. So, meaning like he's gonna make it more competitive, but I don't want to say beat because I don't think he beats Bud.
Does he pose more challenges for Bud than Spencer did?
I'll say yeah.
So he poses more tasks for Bud to deal with. He has different styles like Bud does.
Yeah, he has a lot of tools in his arsenal.
More than Spence.
Spence, you can easily read Spence. You can easily read Boots. He can switch it up a little bit.
Because Boots can switch stances. He throws feints.
Right.
He throws fast combinations.
He gives you surprises.
Hard punches.
Yes.
He throws to the body. He throws to the head. He fights off the back foot. He fights off the front foot. He can brawl. He can sprawl. He can do all of that stuff. Like he can do everything Bud can. It's just the difference in them two is experience and IQ. They can do.
He don't cut off the ring better than Bud though. So we can,
okay,
I'm telling you, he makes a lot of mistakes with that.
Okay, no problem. All right.
Cooking with Sir Senior is trying to come on. You want to talk to him? He wants to get on you.
Who's that?
He has a YouTube channel himself. I don't know if you've seen his videos.
All
I'll let him
right.
on.
So, all right. So back to him not ducking, right?
Right. Cooking, salute.
Salute, bro.
Chillin',
What's going
chillin'.
on?
We
So
listened to Boxing Nerd explain his case on why Boots is not ducking Bud.
I just have a question for the both of you. If you were in Boots' position a year or 2 years ago, right?
Right.
He was in the WBO. He was number 3 in the WBO. He was number 4 in the WBC, or number 3 in the WBC. He was number 2 in the WBA, right? And he was number 1 in the IBF. If he fights for the IBF, he gets a chance at getting the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. If he fights Bud, he just gets the WBO. Not only does he get all 3 of the belts, Spence was more known, and you could get more money with Spence. You can get more pay-per-views with Spence. You get more notoriety. He'll be more on the news channels a lot more than there would be with Terence Crawford. Spence was the bigger name, and you get more with Spence. You beat Bud, you beat the pound for pound number 1, but what does that really matter? Right? Of the two, if you guys had a choice, if you were Boots, who are you picking? Cooking with Caesars.
Yo,
Who you?
let me go first. Bro.
Oh, okay. You go first.
I'm not gonna lie. I will go for the 3 belts, and I'm gonna tell you why I'll go for the 3 belts.
Okay.
I'll go for the 3 belts because that raises my profile to go in a negotiation with Crawford. You understand what I'm saying? Because I will have more to offer. But if I would have went the Crawford route, let's say Boots would have went the Crawford route and he beats Crawford, right? Which he doesn't. But he comes with 1 belt. Spence still has the upper hand because he has 3 belts. He's still the biggest star.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do get what you're saying. Going the Spence route, you get the 3 belts if he beats Spence. You get more notoriety and you bring more to the table versus Bud, who's the pound for pound number 1. So I do get what you're saying. On paper, it makes more sense, but he can't say he wanted to fight both if he wasn't applying pressure for both of it. Like that's the point we're trying to make. I understand it makes sense to go the Spence route. I would do it myself, but then you can't tell the public, oh, you wanted to fight Bud. No, you didn't want to fight Bud. You wanted to go the route where you think it makes more sense. Exactly what I said myself, which makes more sense, meaning like to get your clout up first instead of like trying to get the. But then we do have to say this though, bro. Hold on, let me read my super chat. Where the cooking with Sir go? Nerd, you still here?
1 sec.
Destiny Black, salute to Destiny Black. Thanks for the super chat. She said, "Puss in Boots is all cat. He isn't fighting. He is fighting either Crowley or Avanesian next. He never wanted to fight, but he's a bozo. Knows baby bozo can't beat Bud." Okay, I gotta agree with her, Boxing Nerd. I gotta agree with her. But what I'm saying is, like I said, Boots going the IBF route to fight Earl Spence, right? We know he gets more fighting Earl Spence than he was gonna get fighting Bud. We know that. We're not gonna cap on here. We're gonna say, yeah, that makes sense. But our problem is he cannot tell us he wanted to fight Bud. And also, why we saying that is because we know for a fact that Earl Spence doesn't, and I repeat, doesn't like to fight his mandatories, right? We know Earl doesn't like to fight his mandatories. Do we not know that? Modern King Boxing, salute, man. Been a while, Modern King. I haven't talked to you in a while. Salute. We know Earl doesn't like to fight is mandatory. Yes or no? So even though going the Earl route, the IBF route is better for Boots, but Boots, he should know the sport of boxing. He should know, being on the PBC side, that he wasn't going to get that opportunity. That's the problem we have with Boots. Now, if you know you're not going to get that opportunity, why would you go that route? This is the part boxing nerd is missing when we say Boots ducked Terence Crawford. Because he knew he wasn't going to get that shot versus Earl. We're not saying going the Earl route is not a more lucrative route. We're saying Earl was never going to fight you. If you would have went the WBO route, you would have had a better chance of fighting Crawford. That's what we're saying, nerd. We're not saying going the Crawford route was the more lucrative route. We're saying going the Crawford route was the more guaranteed route to get a title fight. Going the Earl Spence route, you wasn't going to get that fight. You wasn't. Everybody and their mom knew that if Earl Spence never fought Crawford, he was moving up in weight. We never knew Terence Crawford wanted to move up in weight until of recently, after he defeated Earl Spence. That's when he started talking about moving up. But everybody and their mom knew Earl was already planning on moving up. There was rumors of Earl moving up to fight Keith Thurman. So we knew that Jaron Ennis going the IBF route was never going to get him a fight with Earl Spence. So Boxing Nerd can say whatever he wants about what's the more lucrative fights. 3 belts, we'll give him that. But what's the more likely to happen fight? And that fight was Terence Crawford versus Jaron Boots Ennis if he would have went the WBO route. Destiny Black, salute. Modern King Boxing, salute. Modern King Boxing, come on the show, bro, if you're not busy. I ain't talked to you in a minute, man. Come on the show and let's bust it up, buddy.
So you said a whole lot of hoopla. It didn't make sense. You just
Yo, nerd. So you
so
listening, you not talking.
no, I was doing something.
So, nerd, what did I say wrong in my approach about? I agree with you that Earl Spence fight was the more lucrative fight at
No,
the time.
I understand what you're saying when it comes to he
Right.
wasn't really looking for
Okay, can
he
you
he
agree with
here's
me
the thing,
though?
here's the thing. He was a young lion, he wanted any one of them. But I feel like his handlers was just like Errol Spence is the way to go, da 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 da. But they let him astray because they knew Errol Spence hasn't defended a mandatory since
Right.
2017.
There you go.
So I feel like it was a plot all in it. And now I'm opening my eyes. I'm just like, I feel like it was a plot to just
Okay,
stumble block him.
so.
Listen,
All right, I
hold
get
on. Let
what
me
you're
finish.
saying now. Keep
Okay,
going, keep
okay.
going.
Stumble block him so
Right.
that way the IBF could just like let him sit over in the corner while they made the Crawford and Spence fight.
Oh, you
Because
felt like they
if
was leading Boots on.
a little bit, you get what I mean?
I see,
Like
I see. They was
because the
making
last
them
time
promises. They was making them promises they wasn't gonna keep.
that's why you went to Matchroom, bro. A whole lot of empty promises, man. And
I mean, it makes sense though when you say
if you
like,
want if
wait,
you want the WBO route, right? If you
right,
want the
right. Go
WBO
ahead.
route, Crawford would have fought him. 100%. Crawford would have fought him. I don't doubt that for a second,
Oh yeah, for sure.
right? Because he fights
Hmm.
his mandatories, right?
Yes.
That's one thing about Crawford. He's gonna abstain and always fight his mandatories. Well, maybe not now. Like now he's a superstar now. He's doing what he wants. Like he has all right to do that, you know?
Yo, read this comment by this casual. He says Connor Ben beats Boots and Spence. Do that even make sense?
Nah. That's a
What's
bar
wrong
still.
with this guy?
Did you just realize you were a rapper just now? Say it again. Say it again.
Huh?
See what you just said again.
Say what again?
What you just said.
What
Read
did
the
I
comment.
say?
You said this guy just said Conor Ben beats Boots and Spence. Does that even make any sense? Bars. This
Spence
guy's
and
a
Sense.
rapper.
Spence and
Yeah,
Sense rhymes.
it does. It actually does.
But go ahead. What you were saying? Because what you were saying, I'm not gonna lie. What you were saying, there is some validity to it. There is a possibility they did lead Boots on, promising him that Earl Spence fight.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Keith. You want to add to that?
No, pretty much what I have to say because you understand everything I'm saying. King
Right,
David
right.
violated. Read that super chat. He violated just now.
My God, King David. Do you be on King David page? I don't see King David go live no more. Do he still go live?
I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm seeing it, or I
Yeah,
don't
King
remember
David,
seeing
where
it.
you been, my guy? I haven't seen a video from you in a minute. He says Earl's still a duck and Boo's still loyal to Showtime. Nah, he left Showtime. They don't fuck with Boo's no more. He left
This guy said
Showtime.
loyal to Showtime. It's loyal to a dead app. That's crazy.
Showtime is gone, bro. So it's Prime now.
It's
Showtime is
Prime.
no more.
What do you think of that Prime card that was just happened? Even though I only made 25,000 pay-per-view buys,
It was 25,000 pay-per-view buys.
bruh. Literally 25,000. That's it. Not act like it would only do 5,000 more if it was keep them.
No, I think it did a little bit more.
A little bit more like what? It wouldn't do 100,000. Nobody cares about keep them
Maybe
like
like
that.
90.
It would not do 90. It would do 50,000 at best. At best.
What did Keith and Barrios do?
Oh God, 35,000 as well. Some 50,000. Let me
Didn't
check
Keith
right now.
recently had a pay-per-view?
2014. No, in 2022.
Who was that against again? I forgot.
Mario Barrios, you just said it.
Yeah, Barrios, yeah. You said
Yeah.
it did like what?
Wow, they can't even release the numbers.
They ain't released the numbers?
Oh, it
Yeah.
did 39,000.
Get the freak out of here. 39K.
39,000.
And
Guessing
Keith
like
be talking like he one of the biggest stars in the sport. It's not a
of
draw
course, he
yet.
has a mouth on him, but that's about it. Mr. Moonshine said he did 150,000, which is a lie. You know, Mr. Moonshine.
Yeah. That dude just be talking. He's like the
Yeah,
other he's like the other blue bloods of
punch drunk.
YouTube. Punch, yeah, he is punch drunk.
He is punch drunk. Like he really is.
he's like the other blue bloods of YouTube. The Puerto Rican blue bloods.
Mm.
Yeah, he be saying.
39,000 is nasty work, bro.
You said what?
39,000 is nasty work.
Yeah. Cooking with Sir's back. Let's see what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Salute, Cooking with Sir. You want to say something?
Yes, sir. Salute y'all, man. I'm sorry I had a phone call, man.
Were you listening to us about
Yeah, I
the
was listening to it in
the
the
booth
background.
the little debate we had just now? Or you want me to catch you up?
Yeah, so I could jump right in.
All right, so me and Boxing there, we was going back and forth, talking about why
No,
Boots
I was
went the
going back and
IBF
forth.
route, right?
We were agreeing on points, so we want to go back and forth.
Okay, we was having a mature conversation.
Oh my
So,
God.
so I do agree with him why Boots decided to go the IBF route. The Earl Spence fight was more lucrative at the time. Earl did have 3 belts, but the only problem with that is Earl wasn't fighting his mandatories. So I feel
Last time
like,
was what was
huh?
it? What was the name of the guy he
Who?
fought in 2017?
Ocampo?
Pedro Ocampo, yeah.
Right. He hasn't fought a mandatory since Ocampo. So
Yeah, I
even
First
kind of
though,
round.
disagree with that. I kind of disagree with that. So I will understand in normal situations why you would say that going after Errol Spence, who has multiple belts,
right,
and unless they, you know, get approval from the sanctioning bodies, anybody who has multiple belts usually puts up all the belts whenever you fight them, unless they get special approval by a sanctioning body to only fight for that one belt, which almost never happens. I understand that, but understanding that you're dealing with Errol the Truth Spence, Big Fish Man Down, Strap Season.
Right.
How he handles mandatories and the fact that he already said that he was going up to 54. That shows you that Boots had no intention of actually fighting for the belt. He knew that EJ was not going to defend that belt against him.
Yeah,
One,
listen,
he didn't
listen.
have the money.
Cooking.
One, yeah.
You. I don't want to cut you off. You're making a point, but you gotta understand. Sometimes I don't want to defend Boots, but sometimes, uh, guys like Steven Espinoza and the people at Showtime, they make these young fighters promises. You understand what I'm saying? Even though the fighters themselves probably know, like, man, this Earl guy don't look like he wants to fight me. But when the managers and the promoters are making you promises, like we're gonna get him to fight you, behind the scenes they're telling these young fighters, oh, we're gonna get you this fight, because they do that to get these guys to sign. You understand what I'm saying? So they're
I
gonna
mean
keep
that alone. Wait, when that happened to Bud, they said, "Oh, it was excuses and his own fault." But now
right
that it's happening to
the
even
Boots, yeah.
to Boots, now we're supposed to cry him a river.
I see what
Nah,
you're saying. I see.
and the thing is, I like Boots. You know what I'm saying?
We
When it's
all do.
going
We all
outside, I
do.
put Boots on.
They, they think we don't like Boots, bro.
But it's only because you're comparing. Look, I like EJ. EJ was one of my favorite fighters.
Same
Him and
here.
back when Thurman was one time, Keith Thurman, not sometime, not once upon a time, or anything like that.
Right.
I used to like EJ and I like Thurman, and I said, but they're gonna have problems whenever they have to fight each other, let
Right.
alone when Bud moves up. And that's when everything fell apart. Bud moves up and he destroyed everything. Everybody start running, everybody start ducking, everybody start doing all types of funny stuff. Keith Thurman goes into "Don't duck me, son," but he moves into, well, I'm a duck EJ, and now I'm a duck Bud too. EJ runs into the, oh, well, I'm ducking Bud. I'm gonna run to Thurman, and random people who I don't even got no reason fighting, like as they call them, Little Mikey, and random people who lost their biggest fights. So it became all this manipulation game, but that's the normal game with the PBC.
Right.
Is they do all this manipulation stuff. Boots should have understood that. Remember, Boots understands that, and very simply, he should, or at least should have. And his dad is well versed in the game. He got a lot of people he know. He's really close to all these people. Then he should know that that's the type of game they play. Come to find out, it's obvious that they woke up because they left the PBC.
Right.
People will say, well, no, they wasn't with the PBC. When they was arguing for Boots, they said, well, he works with Showtime. Showtime is pretty much PBC. They hand to hand. Like Mayweather said, him and Al Heyman is hand to hand. So you got to look at these things and actually catch what these people are really saying.
Right. I will say this though. I've seen multiple interviews from Boots. They'll ask him like a specific question concerning his career, and he'll say, I don't deal with none of that. I let my dad deal with it. So to be honest, even though we want to hold Boots accountable, but he doesn't know what's going on with his career. He admitted he doesn't do anything with his career. He said he let his dad handle it.
Is that not his own fault? He's a grown man, and he's the prize. He's the fighter. If he hired his dad or not, which salute to him for hiring his dad. His dad has helped him a lot with in practice, in training, and making contracts. He's helped him iron out his career. He got him an email championship. I you know what I'm saying? That was amazing. I thought AOL was going down.
Hold on.
I mean, you got mail, and here's a belt.
Hold on. The only reason he got mail is because Cody Crowley ducked the freaking fight in November on the Benavidez versus Andre undercard. Like, let's tell the whole story before calling him an email champ. Come on, bro. Do better.
He went the IBF route so he could get the email championship. Now, did he have a chance to become so did he have a chance to fight for the belt after that?
Yes,
but Crawley did duck him. That's
So then why are
understandable.
we calling him an email champ when it's not even his
He was an
fault?
email champ. He went to IBF so he could get that. His dad blatantly said it.
They were
We
gonna
already
fight
knew
for the
what the
vacant.
contract said. We already knew how this was going to go. They already promised us that we'll go back to those promises they give that they was going to take care of us. That's the reason why he went IBF.
Yeah. Can't hear you, bro.
My fault. I was getting a phone call. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Boxing Nerd. Sir isn't making this stuff up. What's his name? Jaron Ennis literally said they were going to get the belt whether Spence fight them or not. They put the petition in, and they had 120. Spence had 120 days before Crawford and Spence even fought. Bozy said this out of his mouth. They have Earl Spence has 120 days to fight us, or he got to give up the belt. They put the petition in before Earl fought Bud, bro. Sir isn't lying.
I'm not calling him a liar, bro.
So the thing is this, I understand so we got to have this conversation like straightforward. Like earlier you asked the question, what would you do if you were Boots? So for me, business-wise, if I just want a belt any way possible, the easiest way, I would have did the same thing if I got too much integrity for that. But if I put my integrity to the side, if I wanted a belt the easiest way, I would have went after Spence. I know more than likely he's not going to fight me. If he does, I think I could probably beat him. I'm also going to get multiple belts, or I'm at least going to get this one championship. If he does fight me, it's going to be for more money. So win or lose, I'm winning. I would agree with that under the thing of I want the easiest way. If I think I really can beat both of them, I would have stayed in I would have stayed in the WBO. Reason why I would have stayed in the WBO, because if EJ did what most people would expect him to do, which he technically already told everyone he was going to do, if he didn't fight Bud for the undisputed, he was going to move up. So if he moves up, he tried to get that WBO belt. Here we go again. Now I got my WBO from 147. Yeah, all the other belts dispersed like the Infinity Stones, but these guys ain't nothing to me anyway. I'm Boots Ennis. I'm Philly's finest, baby. I'm going to beat them easy. And if not, and I want to chase EJ, then very simply, I've already beat the pound for pound best fighter in the world by beating Bud Crawford. I'm now moving up and becoming the lineal ring because I beat pound for pound. They're going to give me that ring belt. So that means I got two belts. I'm unified, officially or unofficially. I'm unified at 147, and I can move up and demand the fight for that WBO strap. So that's what I would have done. That would have set my legacy and said that, guess what? Even if these guys duck me, it's blatantly that they're ducking me. I already beat Bud. So there's nothing that anybody can say. I beat the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He passed the torch straight to me. The same way they passed that belt. Then, now I'm going after EJ. It's blatant that he's running from me. There's no one in the world could say he's not running from me if he ducks me at 47 and then ducks me at 54. He'll have to retire.
Guys, let me read this chat from Destiny Black.
Why do you have to read that?
She said, I don't like Puss in Boots. I think him and his daddies are frauds. They are fake humble. Bud has already exposed Baby Bozo and his daddy Bozo. Exposed Baby Bozo inadvertently. What y'all think about that?
I think Destiny Black is wild.
Why you say that?
She rude. I don't like how she talking about Boots.
Why? Because Boots your boy?
Is disrespectful. Come on now. I'm a Bud fan and a Boots fan. You don't ever hear me disrespect Bud. You don't ever hear me disrespect Earl. Actually, no, I have disrespected Earl multiple times.
But
that was because we were.
But Boots team does disrespect Bud. They call that man a sucker.
Has Boots done it? Has Boots done it? No. It was because he took the Avanesian fight instead of him. You know?
That's not Bud's fault.
Okay, but Boots not getting the fight is not Boots' fault.
It is Boots' fault.
How is it Boots'
Bud
fault?
blatantly told him, all you got to do is either find the money or talk junk. I'm going to come fight you. He said it multiple times.
Moves, bro.
Every single time.
Bro, sir, you need to understand that Boots goes to church every day. He's grown in the church. He's a respectful young man. He's not going to call him out of his name to get a fight.
You can talk junk without calling people out their name. You will not find one clip, one video, or anything on the internet of me calling somebody out of their name. I might call them an idiot or you talking gay or something like that because I'm addressing what their actions are in the moment. But me calling somebody something crazy, you'll never hear that. But I have talked junk up and down these YouTube streets. So you can talk junk about boxing and keeping it boxing, because I'm not going to talk about nobody's personal life unless that's the topic. I don't believe in that because I'm a God-fearing man myself. So I understand he don't want to jump out of pocket. But I would say he can say, man, about boxing, keep it boxing. And I would tell him blatantly to keep it boxing because you don't want to piss Bud off. Because look at EJ. He respected EJ. Look what he did to EJ.
Do you think EJ looked himself that now?
Yes.
You think
I think he was afraid. I think EJ was afraid and he didn't really realize. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I never wanted EJ to fight Bud, to be honest. I've said that a few times. Not often, but I've said it often enough to it to be known because I didn't want EJ to get beat up the way he did. And then people say EJ was no good. EJ may not be a good person. He just not good compared to Bud. Just like Boots. Boots is a good fighter. He's just not comparable to Bud. There's nobody who would say that Boots is not a good fighter. There's a different, I'll use the words of Clarissa Shields. He's good. He's just not elite. He's not the best of the best with honors.
At least not yet. Well,
if he ain't yet, then he's not. In this moment, while I'm saying this, he's not. Now,
I mean,
roll to that. Yes. All he has to do
is.
Yeah,
I don't want to cut you off, right? But he's still learning on a job. He's only 26 years old.
That's facts.
So he may not be the best now, but if he keeps improving and working on his flaws, he can become a complete fighter. But at this very moment, he's not a complete fighter.
So it's only two things that he needs to work on that he, out of his just normal fighting, I would say he needs to work on these two things right this moment. Everything else you learn, it's a learning process. There's no fighter ever that just started and was the best version of themselves. So I'm not saying that he doesn't have time to grow. I mean, tomorrow's not promised, but outside of that, he got time to grow. He got time to get stronger. He got time to learn how to sit down on his punches a different way and be able to transition from throwing light punches to hard punches to light punches to hard punches, all in the combination. And I think he needs to have that to become the better fighter. But the two things he needs to work on right now is his emotional state and learning how to cut off the ring without becoming defensively irresponsible. If he does those two things, everything else, as long as he keeps training and grinding, I believe the rest of that stuff is going to come. That's how much I quote unquote believe in Boots and think that he's really the goods. He has the recipe. He needs to change it up. But those are the two things. He doesn't control his emotions enough. If you watch
he's very vulnerable when he's walking a guy down, because if you watch his feet, they get tangled up. Like, I don't like that.
And that's because his ego tells him he can do it that way because it's been working.
Yeah,
and the ego is the killer of anything.
He's just doing whatever he wants to do because I've never seen that. That's some new shit. You don't cross your feet when you're trying to cut off the ring or walking a guy down.
See, the problem is he's fast. He has good IQ and he's able to read his opponent. So because he's able to do all three of those things, sometimes simultaneously, but he hasn't really worked that out 100%. But as we say, he's young. But once he's able to handle that, he understands, okay, well, I can do what I want. No, you can't. Because what happens if that person turns up on you? What happens if in that situation, this guy's playing possum? Because he knows you're so good, he's letting your ego help him defeat you. Because honestly, I'm only 5'6". This is the tallest I've ever been in my life. I pretty much feel like I came out the womb this height. I'm toddler height. I'm about as tall as my youngest son. Like, so
Hold on, you're 5'6"?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I use my mind in every fight more than my body, if I'm in shape or not. So I let your ego help me beat you. That's one of the, and I tell people this because you really can't stop me from doing it. But with that being said,
before Cooking with Sir, you boxed before?
I would say I've sparred amateurly. That's how I'm gonna say it.
But you've been in there. You test the waters, of course.
Yeah. But mostly I did all around fighting.
Okay.
What people will call mixed martial arts now, or whatever else. So that was my bigger thing. Like when I started, they ain't an interview of me, but but yeah. So that's what I've done. And then like, you know, in the neighborhood, you know, the best way I say to resolve some issues, you gotta fight.
Oh yeah.
And I'd rather you fight than
you have to.
Then you picking up a gun or a knife or you jumping somebody, you know, shoot the fair one. Even if you're fighting in just boxing or you're fighting, you know, almost anything goes without crazy tactics.
Right.
And I would be the person who does that or facilitate that from time to time throughout my life.
Yeah, I had to learn how to fight because my brother growing up, my brother had so many beef. I just got jumped for no reason because my brother's beef. They're like, that's his little brother right there.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It definitely happens. I'll just say that. Like I said, this ain't an interview of Cooking with Sir Singer, but I'll tell you that I've been. Think about it. I'm 5'6", well, 5'6" and a half, whatever. Right. Almost 5'7". So, but that's still short. And I've always usually been like the shortest or the second shortest guy. I've usually always been like the smallest dude, or usually was the blackest dude. So if you're black and short and up and down throughout my life, I've been fat. So being black, short, and fat, you're going to be the one they jump on.
Oh yeah.
You got to know how to fight. So that was my ability. Is I learned, I got it naturally. My mom and dad were like fighter. They was fighters in their own perspective neighborhoods or whatever else. They had a reputation.
For sure.
So I got it naturally. But my brother doesn't fight. He knows how to fight, but his ideas, he only fights to save other people. I'm mostly that way, but yeah, I'm a little different, especially when I was younger. I was different growing up. But I said all that to say this is you learn tactics and you learn ideals and you learn ways to make your weakness a strength, and you have to turn their strength into a weakness. So if they're really big and you understand that you're small, over exaggerate that. If you're short, they're tall, they got to reach down to you. Over exaggerate that. Crouch down a little more. Use a lot of lateral movement, or stay right too close on them where you're smothering. You're smaller than them. Your arms may or may not be smaller, or legs might be smaller. So you can very simply go to their body and work your way up, chopping that tree down, and you're able to get more range of motion or better punches in because you're closer. They have to reach around and reach back to hit you. So these are things of tactics that you have to understand and learn. Boots has had the gifts. He's a little bit taller. He's rangier. He's fast. So what he does is he works on his strengths.
Right.
He don't work on his weaknesses.
That's the problem. I noticed that too.
And that's where I say that he needs to. That's why I say he's not ready for Bud. He can't beat Bud because he can't outthink Bud. He gets frustrated. He gets frustrated in fights, and he either goes into I'm just mad, frustrated, or
now
he goes in, well, I'm gonna show off and cover it up. Doing either one of those three things is going to get you knocked out.
Hurt. I think this is what Boots fans don't understand because they don't truly understand what's going on inside of that ring. All they see is the flash. They see the flash, and that's enough for them. It's more to just flash when it comes to boxing. There's a lot of skills that goes into that, a lot of things that goes on in that ring that the regular fan can't really see. A lot of techniques. But yeah, you think Eddie Hearns gonna really put up the money or he just chatting?
I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it right at this moment. But I look at it like this. To shut up fans, I would want Bud to fight Boots. But honestly, I'm 2/3 in. I'm 1/3 say I want Bud to fight Boots to show that not even a new guy, the 2.0 version of him, as they call Boots, can't beat him. I love that and that's mostly just ego purposes. It does nothing for Boots to get an early loss because now they're going to say he's not that guy, where he's young and he can become that guy.
Right.
That's why I was saying before, I would have steered clear of, I understood why EJ was steering clear of Bud. I would have told him to do the same thing. I would have told him not talk junk and act like you're not, but keep it a band. Okay, well, he's high risk, low reward is how they say it.
Right.
That's what I would have told him to do because you're going to get
the
knocked
EJ situation is a little bit more deeper too, though, because not just him staying away from Bud, his team just flat out wanted him not. They didn't even want him to mention Bud, but he took it upon himself because he kept hearing too much trash from the fans. So he take it upon himself to engage in that, and that's when the fight got some steam to it.
Yeah, but the problem is you got to understand, like, for example, you got a YouTube channel. You know there's going to be people who want to call you all types of low down booty chasers and all types of weird stuff because you got a YouTube channel. You're talking boxing, you're talking against or for their favorite fighter or whatever else. You still have to understand, okay, that comes
drop the Eddie, pull up.
So he needs to understand it comes with the territory. Bud is that guy. Don't get knocked out. Like, it's more embarrassing to get beat by Bud than beat by the car wreck. The car wreck already made it embarrassing. So all the Bud fans or all the EJ detractors or whoever else who's been saying that he's a drunk, he's been caught on camera being drunk and admitting he drinks. But now that you got a DUI and you had to serve what was it, a night or two in jail?
Yeah.
You had to, that's proven now. So all the people that you said was lying on you, it's telling you that what it is. So you're losing more by fighting against this. That's why he's not trying to fight Bud now. But he wants to pretend like he's not running from Bud. You're running from that man. He beat you worse than anybody probably ever beat you in your life. Like you said, Bud beat you like you was his child, and you need to call CPS on that man. Like, that's how he got beat. He said he was going to break him like Kunta. No, Bud broke you like Kunta. He beat you so bad that your own fans was crying. They was crying and waving and saying, please just stop the fight. Stop the fight. Come on now. Stop the fight. So you have to understand that EJ is going to run from this man. But the manipulation game of his fans is crazy. One time they'll say you need to fight your mandatory, and mandatory should be able to fight the champion. and then they'll turn around in the next second and say, "Look how EJ running boxing." You can't be for something on one side and then you can't argue both sides of the coin. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. I agree. We got Joseph Billy trying to come in. Let's see what he has to say. Salute.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right. It's amazing how one man dominates the sport and it affects everything in boxing. It's like boxing at a standstill in that division. And it's like they don't want to give Bud the credit, man. They have yet to do it. It's like it's almost like they don't want him to exist. Or they mad because he won that fight. That one fight from last year is affecting a whole lot of stuff going on right now. And it's like he did it the right way, and don't respect him for it. I'm like, I just don't understand, man. It's amazing. It's just amazing. That's all I got, man. I'm gonna still be in this chat though, but they just need
Yeah,
to give
you're
him credit.
100% correct. And in doing that, they probably knew he was going to do that. They blocked his other legacy fight. There was no
Yep.
reason for Charlo to fight Canelo. We all knew that was Crawford next fight.
Right.
They blocked that man other legacy fight because they knew what he was going to do to Earl. Like
Mhm.
all of this is like just planned out. Like, man, we know Bud about to do this to Earl. Let's stop him from doing that to Charlo too. We'd rather cash Charlo out against Canelo than let him lose all of his belts to Bud.
Mhm.
Like it's crazy. But yeah, you're 100% correct. That's facts. How can one man just have the whole sports in shambles? It's crazy.
Yeah. And I feel like if he moves up to fight, if he gets the chance to fight Canelo, I feel like he'll beat him worse than Mayweather did.
I agree 100%.
Yep. But that's all I got. What's up, Mr. Golden?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
I need y'all help, man. I must say I got 1, 2, 3, 4 nice, strong young men. Y'all come on down to Savannah, come to Lowe's with me. I need to load up this truck. What y'all talking about? Old Boots trying to get beat up,
Yeah.
man.
You know what? Y'all have made me
Don't don't
change my
don't don't
mind.
start, Mister
Boots
Golden.
need to fight Bud now, so he can go ahead and get that knockout out of his system and say he was green. Because that's what they're going to say anyway, that he was green
Once,
and he knew what he was
once
doing.
again, once
Yep.
again, I'm gonna say this again. Eddie Hearn is not fit to put Boots in the ring with Bud no time soon.
No.
Boots already, his stock is not up high, and if Eddie put that boy in there with him and he lose, what you think gonna do to stop then? It's gonna draw down even worse, ain't it?
Yep.
So I don't know what to say about him. He on some crazy crap. He gonna get his head busted to white meat real quick.
But if Eddie Hearn can use that as a way to get Bud, because he know that Bud wants the Canelo fight, Bud wants the next legacy fight. If he can use that as a way to get Bud,
But
I don't see him
Boots
sacrifice.
don't bring nothing.
I
Boots
see
don't bring
EJ
nothing to the
sacrifice
table.
Boots.
Boots don't bring nothing to the table to make him Canelo want to fight him. You feel what I'm saying? Like I say right now, Boots trying to establish himself, and Eddie
Mhm.
trying to make him do that. Eddie not going to lose money on Boots right now. You feel me?
Cause
All they
it's low
doing
risk.
Boots right now
It's low
is
risk, low
using
reward.
Boots. Right. All they doing now is using Bud name as a stepping stone to draw people attention to Boots. I got Boots the first step up he got. I got Boots getting tagged good. He fight Stanley Yosa, any one of the boys, he gonna get hurt. Mm-hmm.
I agree,
He
man. His first
he
step
gotta
up,
work on his
we're gonna
defense.
see
He
a lot
gotta
of
work on
holes.
his
We're
defense.
gonna see more
That's
holes
it.
in his game on his first step up.
Yeah. He gotta work on his defense, man. Cause he got
Mm-hmm.
you saw it in his last fight. I'm like, defensively, he need work. He got the youth and he got the speed, but it's like his defense is gonna affect everything with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like, man, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This boxing shit really killing me because they do more talking than damn fighting.
Exactly.
I'm saying, oh, I want to fight this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. But nobody getting in the ring and fighting.
Yeah, we doing all the fighting.
Yeah. We and believe it or not, we do more promoting on a fight than goddamn fighters do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see no commercials, no nothing talking about the fight, no advertisement, no nothing. Come on, man. They have a press conference and that's that. How you gonna sell a fight? Nobody ain't talking shit, ain't raising no hell. I mean, it's not nothing. It make it boring, to be honest with you.
Yep. Look how long we had to wait for Bud and Spence. It took them 5 years to get this one fight done.
Thank you.
Like, that's crazy.
And not only that.
The crazier part is this. They couldn't even get, they said Spence is the big fish to cash cow, right? They couldn't get the big fish cash cow, the fight that he wanted, which was Thurman.
Right.
We're not looking at this stuff. They couldn't get him to get Thurman in the ring. They couldn't give Thurman enough money. They couldn't give EJ enough money to get them both in the ring.
It wasn't that. It's not why someone enough money. It's just that I'm gonna call it like it is. He'll just be that little bitch. Cause Thurman they give him a shot, so he don't want to give Thurman a shot. You feel what I'm saying? That's the thing with that. So y'all playing
niggas on the neck.
Both of them.
Yeah, y'all playing tit for tat. Oh, you didn't fight me, so I ain't gonna fight you. Man, that's hope.
Right.
What you should have did, fought that nigga and punished his ass for not fighting like Bud did him. But for all the time you made me wait to fight you, nigga, I'll punish you. That's the way you do it.
Right.
Now look.
They got to stop blaming Bud for the fight for last year because it's EJ's fault that he was in fat camp for that entire year to lose that weight. It ain't Bud's fault that he got beat that bad.
Man, they talk about as Buff, Earl was drained. Hold on, Earl wasn't drained when he been 147. Majority of his career. When it first started, I think he started at 154. He dropped down to 147.
Yep.
Every fight you had, you were on weight drain. Nothing was wrong with you. A car accident, he came back, beat the shit out of Danny Garcia, or the big fish back. He doesn't hit that. Then he took some time off, and then supposedly he's supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao, but he got a mysterious eye injury. You feel what I'm saying? So that threw you back. Then you come in and fight Ugas. Oh, you just took Ugas eye, nose, liver, heart, soul, everything. You the man. But as soon as you get in there, the nigga beat your ass, you got 500 things wrong with you.
Remember, he said he could see right after the fight. He said he could see. He said that in the interview while his head was still swole up and his lip was still bleeding.
He said it wasn't. He said in the interview nothing was wrong with him. Stupid gentleman. I'm gonna sit up here 2 hours with him and people get these damn cabinets. It wasn't nothing wrong with him. He was on top of the world. He this and he that. Blah blah blah.
Nutritionist. He finally did it the right way and all that crap.
You got in there and you listen to the height game. That Bud was soft. Bud ain't had no power. And when you take that first lick, it took your heart, man.
Yep.
And every time he looked like he was high when he was coming to the ring, he wasn't high, man. That was fear.
Mm-hmm.
He was nervous energy. Go ahead.
All you gotta do is look at the second press conference when they did the face off, and Bud looked straight at him, and he looked at him, then he turned away, and Bud was still looking at him like this gonna be easy.
Man, listen. When that nigga was in that ring and they were standing toe to toe, face to face, Bud with twitches about all on the side, looking stupid as a motherfucker. I got scared too. Shit. Hey, What Earl was thinking, what the hell I don't got myself into.
Mm-hmm.
And when he felt that he couldn't, when he seen that he couldn't manhandle Bud and push Bud back, he knew right then and there he was in a fight.
Yep. And the look he had on his face when he got dropped and got back up and was looking at the referee, kind of smiling. He had like a little smile on his face. I'm like, yeah, he know he gonna get beat. He knew it.
He knew it then. He thought he was
Hold on
gonna
for a
be
minute,
able
fellas. Let me put that on
to
mute.
throw a bunch of punches and survive to the end. But he knew it then. He was like, yo, he really is like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All Spence had to do was just stay dedicated to boxing. He ain't built like that.
He wanted to hang out with Yellow Breezy.
Kissing that nigga on the neck.
That's my brother, man. That's
my brother. What kind of mess is that?
That's crazy.
I'll kiss my brother on the damn neck.
Shit. Nigga gay now. My brother, man. Hey, man. Hey, sir. Hey, sir. That's my brother. She said, don't kiss him. My brother. Bro, what's wrong with this nigga, bro? He said his girlfriend. Nigga gay now. My brother, man. Hey, man. Hey, sir. Hey, sir. That's my brother. She said, don't kiss him. My brother. Girlfriend. Nigga gay now. My brother, man. Hey, man.
All right, fellas, want to catch y'all later. I got to get back to work.
All right,
All right,
Mr. Golden.
salute, bro.
All right, fellas.
Say, yo, Mr. Golden, say it one time. Boots is the girl. All right, guys. What we need to understand is that Boots is going to be the next pound for pound great. He's going to rule boxing with an iron fist. No, he's going to rule boxing with a boxing glove. Okay.
I mean, he could do that. Honestly, let's
do that.
All right, I'm gonna stop all this right here. He can do that. All he has to do is go train with Bud. Stay away from Bud. Say, well, I don't even want to fight Bud. Go train with Bud and learn how the squabble, and then just say, well, I'm letting Bud go head out the sunset, and I'll let him, show me the way. If he look, let me get in my Charlo voice. Humble yourself. Humble yourself, because he's an African American stud. No diddy.
Whatever. Anyways, so like I was saying, besides Bud, between 147 and 154, who's beating Boots? Be honest, please. This is a safe space.
Well, I would say that he will have trouble with Ortiz. He has power. Anybody who can move and counterpunch, that will be his issues. I don't see him having no real, as long, like I said, he just stay focused, work on those two things. He'll be fine at 147. He'll be fine at 147. Even if, like you say, like somebody like Shakur moves up. He moves up 1-2 weight classes, get to 147. Shakur will have to gain more power to really stop Boots. And if Boots become more that defensively responsible when he's walking you down, he would have a chance, skill for skill. I say they're about the same, maybe Shakur a little better, but he got the size on him. So having the size and the range on him, he could do things to make it so he could just outpoint him. Don't try to go for the knockout. That's when you'll get caught and you might get a body shot and you get knocked down or something crazy or clipped. No, just outpoint anybody like a Shakur who's really good at boxing or whatever else. Just do that type of thing. With same thing with Devin Haney. You do the same thing. You can press Devin Haney a little bit more, but the same thing, use your range and understand, like, use your attributes, but also work to his weaknesses. He's not going to try to stop you because, he understands you can fight. He's afraid of you. Not so much afraid of you, oh, he's scared. He don't want to fight. But he understands that at any moment, it only takes 3 to 30 seconds to end a fight. And that's on the street or in boxing. So he don't want to mess up that. Win 12 and a half rounds in that last 30 seconds, get knocked out or get clipped or something crazy. So just use your abilities. he can beat almost everybody. I say Boots can beat almost everybody. Just keep working on his IQ and things of that nature. Now, when he goes to 54, it's going to be a little harder because now you're fighting guys who are bigger than you, who are just as stronger than you. You got to work your intellect more and work your weaknesses. All he has to do is sharpen up. He just need time and working his weaknesses. Get out of his ego. Like, he's a soft-spoken person outside of the ring. From the interviews I've seen and seeing how people talk to him, just sitting around and cutting the bull or whatever else. God never met Boots in person, but he seems that way. But be that same person inside the ring. Not saying be a punk. I'm just saying that don't let your ego get you into some craziness, and he'll have a good reign. EJ will be out of the way. EJ is kind of broken. Bud broke him. Just being honest. Bud broke him worse than the car accidents, because the car accidents was something he could deny and get over. And once he was able to move around and fight and talk and all that other stuff, that's how he overcame the car accidents, getting his faculties and all his stuff back. Getting beat by Bud like that, it's going to be real hard for him to get that back. He's going to actually have to, as he said, get that back in blood. He's going to have to beat Bud or somebody who he feels is just as good or better than Bud to get that little glitch out of his hiccup.
Validation.
Yeah, the validation.
Yep.
But Boots's team is saying that EJ is welcomed in their camp. So that also shows you that Boots' team never really wanted the EJ fight because they're willing to welcome him in, which eliminates him in most situations as an opponent. And I think that'll be actually good for both of their careers. For the rest of EJ career, it'll help him learn the things that he doesn't have, and it'll help Boots learn the thing that he doesn't have. Right. And I think they both will be better for it. It actually is a great move. It's a great move.
Yep. Because he never pressed Spence to fight him more than he did what he said he wanted to fight Bud, but he never pressed Spence like that.
Yo, honestly, as a Boots fan, me as a Boots fan and a Bud fan, I hear both arguments, right? Mm-hmm. I try to think about everything and put everything into perspective for sure. Me personally, I'm a big Boot fan. Like, probably he's my favorite fighter, but I'm not delusional. And if they were to fight right now, I feel like Boots gives him the most trouble against. If we're talking about Crawford's opponents, possible opponents, future opponents, I think Boots is the most difficult challenge, more difficult than Canelo, because Canelo is very slow. He's very telegraphed. He's accomplished, yeah, but like Floyd made the blueprint for Canelo, and I feel like Terence Crawford can do that and possibly hurt Canelo as well. So if we're talking about the person that will give him the most trouble out of anyone that he can fight, Boots has the potential to do so. Now, Boots has a lot of defensive flaws. Well, not a lot, a few defensive flaws. In that he crosses his feet when he's walking people down. I saw it in the current fight. He does play a lot in the ring. He does have a few things. He needs to cut off the ring a lot better. He does a lot of following when his opponent likes to move, which is not good. And he has himself open. So, no boxer is perfect, but him and Bud are very close to perfect. So, if they were to fight right now, unfortunately, I'll probably go with Bud. But I would love for Boots to win because he's my favorite right now. We'll see what happens, though. See what happens. It's a beautiful fight. It's probably the most aesthetically pleasing fight in the last 20 years, in my opinion, just because of the skill level and how much more above everybody else they really are. Because the both of them can do. Whenever we seen two fighters that can literally do everything in the ring together, everything to a T, perfectly. I don't think we've ever seen that before. They both have knockouts in southpaw. They both have knockouts in orthodox. or is it on stands? They both can bang. They both can box. They both can brawl. They can both call out the ring. Oh, no, Boots needs work on that, but like they literally both can do everything. When have we seen two boxers in the ring that can both do everything? I haven't seen that. So it's such a beautiful fight, and I would love to see it. I'd love to witness it. I probably won't make any bets on the fight because it's too close to home. But yeah, that's my opinion about everything. And I don't want to be Spence fans over here either.
I think if they ever fight each other, I think it'll make Boots a better fighter.
Yeah.
Because he have to work on what he don't know or what he hasn't learned. And I think it may go 12 rounds. I think it'll be a 12-round fight. And Bud will win by decision, by unanimous decision.
Nah, Bud gonna stop him.
You think he will?
Yeah, it's so like when I look at these fights, and that's how I decide them. Like I'm rarely wrong unless I go in my emotion. I look at this fight purely from skill wise. I don't look at it emotionally. I like Boots. I look at it skill wise. So the flaws that Boots do is usually where Bud catches other people, and Boots he won't know how to get off the ground and come back without raging in. If you're too passive, Bud he's the best finisher in boxing.
Yeah.
If you come in crazy, he's gonna counterpunch you again, and you're gonna be on the floor again. So it's kind of like what happened with Sean Porter and kind of what happened with EJ. Both of those fights were similar. Count those rounds that where Sean Porter came in, Bud got serious. Sean Porter came in, he caught him in the middle of his transitioning.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. He gets you in the middle of your lack of smoothness. And that's where Boots will fall. He won't fall with, if Bud takes away his jab, Boots will just spin, which will be okay until you do that 3-4 times. The first 3-4 times, it's going to look amazing. And you're like, see, we told you, like, look how he got out of there. It's going to look amazing. But by the time you do that fourth time, Bud's going to catch you. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm not trying to say too much because I don't want to, like, water down Boots. Like, I don't want to do that. But he's just not ready. And his ego is really the problem. I see that he learns and he gets better and everything else, but his ego is the problem. That's his biggest problem. That's why he doesn't learn how to walk appropriately, because he's never had to. He's so much better than that. He never had to. So he does all these flaws because he could get away with it. It's not to draw people in. It's not because, okay, well, it's a habit he can't break. Because I've seen times where Boots moved to walk somebody down and he didn't do that. So if you can do that consistently in certain situations, you can do it all the time. The problem is you don't care. You're not using your brain to say, I gotta move my feet the right way. I gotta watch my balance the right way, because you're up on the card, so you want to stunt, you got a little power or whatever else. You can't do that. You can't let your ego. Look at it with Bud. When Bud let his ego go, that's when he gets clipped, when he gets hit. That's when somebody's able to move out the way or something like that. They're able to get something off on him. Bud then zones back in and then puts them down for that. He punishes them for him doing something stupid.
That's like when he dropped his arm and Spence caught him with that left. But he took it like okay.
The same way. Remember when Spence was doing his triple jab combination that he normally does, and he came back with that left to the body. He caught Bud because Bud was just worried about the triple jab. He's like, man, all I'm caring about is getting rid of this jab. and he didn't. He said, "Okay, well, let me get back." And he did that because he knew that at that point EJ couldn't really hurt him. But he still said, "Well, let me tighten my game back up just in case." That's him being humble enough to say, "I know that I'm way better than this guy, but I still need to act like this guy is just as good or better than me."
Mm-hmm.
Boots don't have that, and once he gets that, or if he maybe he doesn't get it, but once he gets that, he'll be a way better fighter. You're going to see Boots turn into people always use Dragon Ball, so a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're going to see it. He's going to be like, wait, I thought Boots was good before. Boots is immaculate, and he's going to make it look so easy. It's going to start being boring. It's like,
right,
man, weave, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be that beginning of the Ultra Instinct thing, the first when Goku, right before he turned Super Saiyan, how he was fighting all the people at one time. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be Boots. He's going to have that same thing that Bud ended up getting. Bud was able to get that once he got to the point, and he also trains himself like this guy is better than me.
Right.
Boots train like I'm better than this guy. That's the caveat.
Yeah, yep. Well, Boots still got a lot to learn, man.
Yeah, but I think he can learn it though. I think he can learn it. I think that he needs harder fights.
Right.
Because harder fights don't mean just the guy punches harder. Because that doesn't matter if he can't hit you. Most people don't understand that. It don't matter if he can't get a clean shot or he can't really hit you at all. That harder fights, the harder puncher don't matter. The timing matters. The ability to catch you while you're off balance and all that other kind of stuff, that matters more the higher level you go up. And honestly, I would say I gotta take back what I was saying. I was saying it was 50-50 that if he makes the fight, unless Eddie Hearn sees that he can get Bud off of this, somehow he can get Bud or he can windfall and it helps him water down Bud so he can be cool with Canelo again. Unless, they'll say, oh, well, Bud just beat an unproven fighter, so it's nothing. And then he could tell Boots, on the backside, hey, well, I'm going to keep building you back up after this fall because that's what you needed was a big test, and he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world. We could just argue that and be like Canelo. And I think maybe he can. He could take that whipping from Bud and come back and use that. That'll be just enough to humble him and to help him learn the stuff he needs to learn.
Right.
But the thing is this, is Boots going to get caught up in the business of boxing, or is he going to let himself stay and do what he needs to do so he can become better in boxing? Because if he becomes better in boxing, he can ride the business until he don't want to ride it anymore. He already got 30-some fights. Like throwing in, if you look at his trajectory and the people of the age that he's at and everything else, he can ride it all the way. He's not going to get 50-0 though, because if he fight Bud, it's over.
Right.
Like on his best night, he can't beat Bud on his worst night. And it's just because the power gap and the understanding is just way too big. The understanding is the problem. It's not just, oh, well, I can punch with him. It doesn't matter. Oh, well, I'm as fast as him. That doesn't matter. It's the brain. It's the brain part, the mental part of it, and the fact that Bud is able to humble his ego, and Boots still ain't.
Right. Yep. Bud is not. He's not. He's number one pound for pound fighter for a reason.
Yeah. And Bud actually is too good for his own good, man. Yep. His fights don't look close. Nobody want to see that unless you're talking a bunch of junk, you wearing a bunch of jewelry, you got a bunch of hoes or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody want to see every time you go in, you make everybody look like trash. Like nobody want to see that. Like you one punch man, you know, it's like we already know you're gonna win. It's a game of like everybody lose who get in there with you.
And it's crazy because how, you know, before the fight even happened with Spence fans really couldn't even break down how the fight's gonna be against Bud or how Spence was gonna beat him. They couldn't tell you. It's like, wow.
That's facts. All they say is he's bigger and stronger and he got a great jab.
Yep.
Every single person, that's all they said. Well, he's gonna pressure him. He's gonna pressure him. Well, Bud's fought pressure fighters, but not like EJ. EJ go to pressure, but he's a bigger, stronger fighter. He fought bigger and stronger fighters. That's not going to be the thing. It's the mentality and the understanding. If you look at every fight, what wins is the other person cheats. The one fighter cheats themselves, and or the mentality is what works. Tim Tszyu, most people say he could have won that fight. Arguably, I could say that makes sense. He could have won that fight if he didn't get the cut. The problem is he did get the cut. What are you going to do when you do get that cut? When something unexpected happens?
Yeah.
He didn't have the mental fortitude to say, I can't see. Stop the fight. It's before the fourth round. Or we're at the fifth or sixth round. It's now tied. Or I'm up one. Stop the fight. His ego said, well, I can catch him with one good punch. Your ego played you. Now you have a loss on your record that you could have had a no contest. You could have had the immediate rematch like you're going to have anyway.
Right. Because that cut did not stop bleeding. It bled the whole fight. I was like, wow.
And that angle is going to run right in your face. It's not going to stop bleeding. Like, it's not going to, that front part of your head right there, and then there's one little part right under the little notch behind your head, and then right above the notch on your head. Those three places on the skull are going to bleed because it's right there by a vein and it's by certain tissue. It's going to just bleed and bleed and bleed. So he should have said, no, I'm going to stop this fight and go ahead, get this no contest, get stitched up. I see what he can do good, which is work his range, and he flick jabs me to death. So I got to work on breaking the flick jab and push him hard enough to get him where he wants to be. Where he wants to be is on the inside. That's where he fights. That's what he likes to do. He gives up his height and his arm reach on the inside. Learn how to beat him. That's simple. All Tim Tszyu had to do. But his ego, his corner's ego, PBC's ego said all he got to do is just catch him once. Well, you was trying to set up for the EJ fight. Well, it's going to be in Texas. We're going to rebuild our fighter, blah, blah, blah. Either you're going to beat him and then we're going to retire him in Texas, or he beats you and now we got a little battle where y'all can have a rematch some other time or whatever else. So that's how they're looking at it, is how can I milk? They want to skin every person alive while cheating the fans. No, you got to think about what's best for you sometimes. And what's best for him is to being the best fighter he can be and have the best record he can have.
Yep.
But I mean, we can't. But at the same token, we can't tell professional fighters what to do. We're not professional fighters. We can't tell, as they say, the businessmen what to do. They got all this money, but the simple fact of the matter is, I think. But I will, in that same breath, say that PBC is messing up. PBC has a great situation right now. where they have the ear of almost every best fighter, that's out there, no matter what the weight class is. They got the ear of them where they're still on talking terms with them, even though they might have spit in some of their faces. They're still on talking terms. They can make it so even if they got to do a cross promotional thing, they can make it so they can get that fighter in the ring with their fighter or get them to have a one fight deal. The problem is they're so used to getting everything, they're gonna end up with nothing. They have MGM. They're it's something that nobody really talks about. Amazon Prime owns MGM.
Wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
So MGM company, that means the MGM Grand. That means the MGM AT&T. I think the AT&T is an MGM building as well. But anyway, it's two different MGM or MGM affiliate places there in Las Vegas alone, let alone in all the other states. They can put a monopoly on everything because you already got a good ear because you already work and have a contract with that company. Talk to Amazon and make these fights. Get your money on that other side. Well, I can't just get the straight up money that I'm used to getting. Well, you're a contract specialist. Get your money on the backside with now we're going to charge them more for the venue and we get a trickle dollar effect from that.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, PBC gets to build themselves back up as premier boxing champions instead of, something else that I say they are.
PBC. They know how to ruin boxing, boy. That's for sure. All right,
Yeah.
man, we get up out of here. All right, man. Y'all be good. I'm at work.
All right. Salute, bro.
Y'all stay up.
Cooking was served. Salute. He left. What's going on, guys? Boy, no credit. Let me read some of these comments before I give you guys my final thoughts. Boxing Nerd still in the chat. What is he talking about? He doesn't keep his head off the center line. Who is he talking about? Ask Lipinette. Boxing Nerd, I'm an enthusiast. Trust I know. Detroit D-Town says, what up? TBC all day. Salute. Everybody, I started my membership. If you guys are interested, I've been dropping members only videos. So you guys can become a member of the channel. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to all my members. I appreciate you guys. I've started membership and I'm adding some new perks to my memberships. Modern King Boxing says Amazon ain't messing with Al Heyman. If you didn't see the ticket sales, no one really believed they beat Bud. Okay, Tim wins belts back and huge payday for Bud or Spence in Australia. Both will beat, so I agree. But let me talk about what I really wanted to talk about before Boxing Nerd came on here trying to defend his boy Jaron Boots Ennis. So let me talk about what I really wanted to talk about, guys. So Eddie Hearn, I like Eddie Hearn as a promoter, but for some reason he has something against Bud. I don't know what it is. That's just my personal opinion. I think he has something against Bud. This is why I believe he has something against Bud. He said he don't believe Bud is a big enough star. Bob Arum didn't do his job to get Bud to become a household name like he's supposed to. I do agree with that. Bob Arum underpromoted Terence Crawford. He put most of his money and his resources in promoting other fighters when he knew he had a talent like a Terence Crawford. I think the old promoters, they want the fighters to promote themselves. And that's not how the sport of boxing is supposed to be. You're a promoter for a reason. That's your job to promote these fighters. You can't get mad when a fighter doesn't want to do when a fighter isn't out there with the socials. He want to keep his life off of social media at all times. Not every fighter want to be in the media all the time. Nobody wants to let the media into their personal life. I understand it's what they sign up for, but majority of the time, these guys they want freedom. They don't want the media to be following them around. They're at the airport. They want to be able to go to the grocery store without people running to them, taking pictures. You understand what I'm saying? When you take on that, when you become a huge star, you take on that role where everybody knows who you are. It comes with its perks, but it also comes with its disadvantages and it also comes with safety concerns because now everybody knows you, and some people may have good intentions, some people may have bad intentions. You never know what people think about you or what people want to do to you or kidnap your kids. Now people want to know where your kids go to school. Like it's crazy with celebrities, so celebrities got to be careful. That's why they don't want to put all of their personal life on social media like that. That's why some celebrities stay away from the socials. But it comes with the territory, so they got to be prepared for it. I do understand that, but I'm just saying. So that's what probably Bud was trying to do, keep his family away from the socials for a little bit. But then when he realized he had to do it, that's when he got on board and started doing it, promoting himself because he wanted the biggest paydays and he wanted the biggest fights. And that's the only way to get him is to raise your profile. He had to do what he had to do. And he started to raise his profile. We seen Bud everywhere. I mean, there was this one year, I believe it was 2022, or it might have been 23. It might have been 23. It was like 22 or 23. I couldn't come on YouTube without seeing Bud on every single platform. He was doing interviews here and there on every single platform. Crawford had interviews. Every single YouTube channel, interviews. I'm like, this guy's everywhere. We about to call him Mr. YouTube because he was everywhere. He was even on TVs. He was on the Good Morning News channels in Nebraska. He was on TV. He was on everything. You understand what I'm saying? So he realized the power of getting your name out there, promoting himself or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to get off, right? I don't want to get off topic. Eddie Hearn, he told the public he can't do nothing with Crawford because he can't get Crawford the fights he wants to get Crawford. If you can't get Crawford the fights you want to get Crawford, when Crawford left, this is when Crawford left Top Rank. He was interested in going to Eddie Hearn in the zone. Eddie Hearn said, I don't have the money for Crawford, and I won't be able to get him the fights he wants to get. I think he said that because he realized he had a problem with Al Heyman and the PBC. But I also just think he said that. I don't know. I don't want to say he has a personal issue with Bud, but I don't know. It just seems like he's just not a fan of Bud, in my personal opinion. Because every time he does an interview, he'll say something positive, then he'll say a lot of negatives. So it's like, man, are you going to say positive or are you going to say negative? You got to pick one. So you either just say all negatives or you say all positive. He mixed it together, so it's kind of confusing with Eddie Hearn. But what's even more confusing, right? He said it'll be hard to get Crawford the fights or promote Bud, but he goes and he signs Jaron Ennis. he goes and he signs Jaron Ennis, a guy who is relatively unknown outside of boxing. He's relatively unknown outside of boxing. So it's going to be even harder for Eddie Hearn to get this kid name out there because Bud was already established. Unless he's looking at the bigger picture, or I won't say bigger picture, or he's looking at the I keep getting a phone call. Can you guys hear me? My fault, guys. I keep getting a phone call. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I keep getting a phone call. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know. I keep getting a phone call. I keep getting a phone call. This girl keeps calling me, man. But in other words, I feel like Eddie Hearn is only looking at the age. He's looking at Jaron Ennis being 26, having 10 years, being 10 years younger than Crawford. He has time to build Jaron Ennis. Harvey Price, I appreciate it. He has time to build Jaron Ennis into a star. But I think I'm not saying he's making a mistake. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm not saying he's making a mistake. I'm saying Crawford is aging like fine wine. You understand what I'm saying? He's aging like fine wine, meaning like, yes, we know he's 36 years old, on the older end, but with his last remaining years in the sport of boxing, Eddie Hearn can use Crawford to make some of the biggest fights in the sport. And he's failed to acknowledge that. I'm pretty sure Crawford always wanted to fight on the zone. Some of the biggest fights in the sport. And he can start off with, I was thinking Eddie hear you, bro. Was thinking to sign Zeus so he could set up a massive fight with Bud. That could be the case. Crawford's aging like fine wine. He may say, I got 3 or 4 years left. But I can see Crawford retiring by the age of 39. So he's 36 right now. He got 3. I feel like he got 3 more years. I don't think he fight past 40. But we know Mayweather fought till what? He fought Pacquiao when he was 38. He fought Pacquiao when he was 38. Pacquiao was 36. So Crawford's aging like fine wine. At 36, Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez. At 36 years old, Crawford's going to beat Jaron Boots Ennis. Crawford's going to have his Mayweather moment against Jaron Ennis. Crawford's aging like fine wine. I believe Eddie Hearn could have made huge fights with Crawford. He could have made huge fight with Bud. Yo, man, this girl's making me mad. I'll be right back, guys. guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think you can hear me now. My girl keep texting me. She keep texting to call it. Boots needs some Willie lump tattoos from Crawford. I agree. I agree. Let me tell you what Eddie Hearn could have did with Crawford. He has the money. He has the back end from the Saudis. Eddie could have used Crawford to make a fight with some guys from 154. Could have used Crawford to make huge fights with guys from 154. Put him in a fight at 160, potentially, and then give us the fight Crawford wants, the entire boxing public wants to see. Crawford Canelo, 168, undisputed. Crawford, final fight before he retires. He beats Canelo Alvarez and he rides off into the sunset. That's one of the greatest fighters of this generation, the best fighter of his era, number one pound for pound, an all-time great fighter. The first fighter of his era to become undisputed in 3 division, or maybe 4, if he unify all the belts at 154 and he get an opportunity at Canelo belts. First fighter to become undisputed in 4 division. Definitely an all-time great fighter. I don't think Eddie Hearn see the big picture. Eddie Hearn, he looks at Jaron Ennis, how the casual boxing fans of the world look at Jaron Ennis. They see size, speed, flash, and age. That's not enough to dethrone a guy like Terence Crawford, who has that old school mentality, old school heart, old school boxing ability, and just skills out of this world and instincts you can't teach. He has killer instincts you can't teach. He has survival instincts you can't teach. He's defensively responsible, offensively responsible. He is the most complete fighter in the sport of boxing right now. And honestly, right now, Jaron Ennis hasn't done anything to show us that he can beat a guy like Bud Crawford. On paper, it's not a competitive fight. Meaning, like, it's not a fight that we say it's a 50-50 fight. It might look competitive because of the skills of Jaron Ennis, but eventually he's going to run out of tools in his toolbox. And once he run out of those tools in his toolbox and Crawford figures him out, because he can't keep doing the same thing over and over, he's going to run out of tools. He's going to use everything he knows in the first half of the fight. But then the later half of the fight, it's going to start to take a toll on him. He's going to realize he's in there with a guy who does not know how to lose, who has superior killer instincts, superior survival instincts. So even if he gets hurt, he knows how to survive. Superior timing, throws better punches in between Jaron and his punches, shorter, crisp punches. We know Jaron and his lunges a lot with his hooks, and his right hand is telegraphed because he throws a wide looping right hand that's going to get him caught. I see Jaron Ennis throwing some big stuff and getting caught while throwing it. And we know from a lot of Crawford fight that he always gets there first. He always gets to the target before his opponents. He said, that's why I'm paying $500. Floyd needs a butt kicking. I pay $500 for a pay-per-view to see Bud versus Floyd. Jaron needs some moxie. Yeah, I love to see that fight. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on everything that's going on. Like I said, hopefully Eddie Hearn isn't using Crawford's name for clout, and he really puts the money up so he could put Crawford could put Jaron Ennis to the test and see what the kid's really made of. You know, see if he really on that. I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, your boy No Credit. I appreciate everybody joining the channel, everybody joining my membership, everybody showing love. I appreciate the super chats from Modern King Boxing, King David, Destiny Black. Thank you for the super chat. Modern King Boxing, thank you for the super chat. King David, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate everybody joining the show. I appreciate you guys. It's your boy No Credit. We're going to continue to apply pressure until these guys understand that Bud Crawford is the greatest fighters of this generation, and he's not slowing down. He's aging like fine wine. And a guy like Jaron Boots Ennis isn't ready for a master chess player like a Bud Crawford. It's your boy No Credit, and I'm out. He said peace until there's no peace. Modern King Box, I appreciate you. I'll talk to you later, guys.